Hello, and welcome to my channel. My name is Doodle Robot, and today we're going to look at the last 4 months of my colorings. It's been a very rocky road, I guess we'll say. Transitions, many transitions in life. I just want you to know at the top here, I'm watching you. Yes, I am. Just kidding, sorry. Back to serious stuff. So we're looking at colorings from September through December of 2023, and oh my goodness, thank God 2023 is over. Yes. So it's been 4 months because I moved twice. I started a new job. So I was traveling about the country a lot. I was moving and then started my job like a day later. And then I only got a temporary apartment for 3 months so I could look for a house. So I have purchased a little condo and moved in here. And so this is a temporary filming thing because I'm working on building the studio furniture and stuff. So yeah, it just never ends. Like the transitions never end. So, but I am in my own place. So that's a plus. So enough talking about that stuff. In case you thought I fell off the planet, I didn't. I'm just moving and stuff. I couldn't fall off the planet because, you know, gravity. So, anyways, let's start with designs. In case you don't like designs, you can fast forward to the more traditional pictures, I guess we'll say. In Amazing Patterns, this is my black and white book. And it's pretty, like, you see the table wiggling, but the filming arm is not attached to the table anymore like it was in my temporary apartment, which is why I didn't film a lot there. Back to this. In my Amazing Patterns in Doodle book, this is my black and white book. Oh my goodness, I didn't mark the pages. Oh gosh. I did 4 of them. Let's look here. I'll have you know, I set up my 2024 journal space. Are you ready for it? Hold on to your hat. Took me about 2 seconds. I drew a line and wrote 2024. Alrighty. So yeah, I can't even do the fancy journal stuff. The messier the better. If it's too fancy, I'm never gonna work in it. Let's see here. We did plate 4, plate 24, 34, and 36. Okay, so 4. And in this book, I just use some kind of fine liner. I use lots of micron fine liners. And now I have Le Pen fine liners. But you could use anything. You could use water-based markers. You could use alcohol markers. You could use Sharpies if you wanted to do a black and white. You could use colored pencil. So I did 4. What do we say? 24, 34, and 36. 36. So in the last 4 months, I just try to do 1 a month. It's actually very relaxing. I usually pick a day when I'm like too stressed out and I can't really focus on coloring. That's a good day to do black and white. So those are the 4 I did from that book. I also, and this was after moving into my new little house here. I was so keyed up that even after I did one of the black and white pages, I wasn't done, and I was watching while I was doing the black and white pages while I was listening to I don't know, there was something on YouTube that had Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer and Frosty the Snowman and a couple of other of those types of movies, and I thought, ow, I need to do something that's like a candy cane or something. So this is Ode to Christmas, Ode to Candy Cane. I just used, this is in Geomandola 2 by John Wick. I just used 3 Tombow markers for this one. In various reds and pinks, and then the white is just the white of the paper. So yeah, I needed more just kind of zen out coloring. And then my last designs, which, ooh, sorry. I'm working on a plastic table here because, like I said, I am building the furniture and stuff for the studio. So, and I bought lamps, but I forgot to buy light bulbs, so I have like every tiny lamp here focused on focused on the camera area. This is guerrilla shooting at its best here, guerrilla videoing. I got this book. I'm sure I mentioned it in a haul or something. 50 Spiral Mandalas. I really like it. Of course, you know me. The only thing I don't like is that it's round on a rectangle page, but that's okay. I'm going to work with it. And so the first one I did in here was this one, which is altered. And I thought it looked very watery. And what did I use? I don't know if there's anything shiny on there. I'll move it around in case there's anything shiny. Oh yeah, a little bit. In that seashell-y shape there. So, let's see. On this one I used acrylic paint, Artix paint markers, Artix acrylic markers, not paint markers, just acrylic ink, Prismacolors, silky gel crayon, and jelly rolls. I feel like I also used, no, I'm not sure if that's a jelly roll or metallic watercolor. It's probably a jelly roll. And the silky gel crayons are in the back. This is altered. I didn't like something that was going on around it, so I just took my pen and drew stuff on there, drew spiky things, and added fish, because I don't know, it seemed very underwatery. This is some new kind of alien sea creature here, we'll say. So did that one, and then I wasn't done. I wanted to do another one, and I want to continue to work in this book as well. And I did this one also, filling up that strange space that's there behind it. This one's altered as well. You can tell. You can see what I altered it. It's pretty obvious. This is acrylic marker, acrylic paint here. And I think this might have been one of the pages where I mixed a bunch of acrylic paint for something. I don't even know what. Maybe it's the last book I'm going to show you. And then I had to use it on all these other pages. I had to change it slightly and use it. So I was looking for places to use it, which dictated kind of what I colored. So acrylic paint, alcohol markers, Ohuhu acrylic paint markers. Those are my favorite paint markers. And some jelly roll. I don't think there's anything shiny on this page. I think it's all just flat stuff, so nothing to see there. And that would be it for my design books. Oh dear, no place to put the books. I'm going to throw them on the floor in case you hear a noise. Alright, so then we got the two buddy color, or not buddy colors, they're kind of big group colors, coloring things. Let's see. So for mid-century modern, I've got my notes off to the side here. For mid-century modern, the people in that group are here. Doodle Robot, Carrie K, Colorful Pirate, Colored by Maya, Jojo Zahana, Tammy Colors 2, Happy Catastrophe, Stephanie Napolitan, no O on the end, Coloring with Pat and Wilson, Heidi from HCH Coloring, Mindy Fuller Birdie, or Bird. I'm not sure how to say that. Yeah, and so I think this might be the last page we colored in this book, because next January, January 1st, we are doing something out of Daydreams. So maybe we're going to move around to different books. So we colored two. We colored the Catmobile. Oh, that's this one here. September. Okay. For this one, I don't know if there's anything shiny. Yep, kind of shiny gel pens and stuff. I did a watercolor background. And there's acrylic paint markers, lots of acrylic paint markers, both Posca and Arctics, jelly rolls, and also Ohuhu acrylic paint markers. Nope, I'm looking at the wrong thing. No Ohuhu acrylic paint markers on this one. Posca and Arctics. And Arctics I have is just the acrylic ink marker. So that's all there is to that one. And then we did the partridge family bird thing here. I don't know what that is. Maybe it's a peacock. I'm not sure. I call it the partridge family bird. It just reminds me of that. For this one, I used watercolor paints. I love the technique I did in the background, and I'm going to do that a lot more. Okay, it's kind of similar to the other one, but different. And then the thing that made me so happy was I painted the whole thing, just over everything with the watercolor that I used. And then I just did a glaze of watercolor. Sorry if I get that too close, it's not going to be seeable. So you can still see the history in the background there for the body of the, what is it? Peacock. I think it's a peacock. I don't know. And then the rest is just, looks like it's just watercolor and Ohuhu acrylic paint markers. Those are my favorite paint markers. Someday those are going to run out and I'm going to get something. I'm going to try something else, maybe. They're awesome though. I like them better than Posca. But anyways. So I think that's it. Just watercolor and paint markers. That was a really easy one and I like it. It was very effective too. So love doing that one. Enjoyed that thoroughly. Our other large group buddy color is in Magic Dreamland. And we did 2 there as well. The people in Magic Dreamland, oh no, there we go, are me, Carrie K, Colorful Pirate, Inksmith, Jojoza Hannah, Bubble of Coloring, Luna's Coloring Corner, Stephanie Napolitan, Happy Catastrophe, Vero R. Salinas, Christina's Art Corner, Influence Colorist, Coloring with Anna, and Mindy Fuller Bride. All right. Some of them have YouTube channels, some just have, what is it? Instagram. I don't really like Instagram very much, but I keep thinking I'm going to go on there more, but yeah, no, it's not going to happen. And so we did 2. We did A Lamb Who Cannot Sleep. Let's see what we did for that one. All right, there's A Lamb Who Cannot Sleep. It is, I see shiny stuff. I'll move it around so you can see the shiny stuff. Bling bling. Looks like acrylic paint, and when I say acrylic paint, I just mean apple barrel for the most part. Acrylic paint markers. It looks like I just wrote it plural, so it's probably Posca and Ohuhu. Jelly Roll and Pentel dual metallic hybrids, water-based marker, gold Signo was what we used on there. So, I can't remember if I altered this one. I don't think I did. I think I just colored it. In coloring it, I probably, like this wasn't filled in out here, I probably just drew the designs on there. And the other one is, I can't remember what it's called. I called it Fish City. I love this one. Gets me back to my roots here a bit. This is a social commentary on the U.S. Sorry, getting political there. It's called Fish City because it's supposed to be for the fish, but notice who owns the fish. The fat cat owns the fish here in this whole scenario. So that is my social / political commentary there. Read into that what you want. I blotted out stuff in the back with the black acrylic paint. Ohuhu acrylic paint markers for a lot of stuff. Looks like there was Posca as well. Prismacolor. You'll notice I have started using a lot more Prismacolor because my shoulder and arm are starting to feel much better. I altered the way I sleep, and that seems to have helped my shoulder a great deal. Water-based marker and jelly rolls, so. And I think Signo Silver, possibly? I'm not sure. So I'll bend it around so you can see the shiny goodness there. I used a stencil for the Fish City. I didn't draw that, just used a stencil, and I didn't alter the stencil in this case. It just seemed simpler was better here. I'm really pleased with that one. I like that one a lot. All right, and moving on now. I'm going to throw these on the floor again. Be prepared for that. Gently. All right, getting into the more representational stuff. I've got to find my notes here. It's too much. All right, in Incredible Insect Designs. This is by Marty Noble. We did this one. Maybe it's supposed to go this way. Possibly. I don't know. And this I used micron pens to fill in all the black, alcohol markers. These were done so long ago I can't even remember. Yep, alcohol markers all over the place. Acrylic paint markers, both a Hoo-Hoo and Arctics. So that would be Arctics is just the acrylic ink markers. And Prismas for the shading and stuff. So yeah, I love this. This is one of my favorite books. It just has such good stuff in it. Anyways, I've talked about that before. All right, up next, some of my Halloween colorings, even though I was transitioning like the whole time during Halloween. I did not get to color as much as I wanted. Didn't get to color any Christmas because at the beginning of December I was moving into my new place here, and that's just never ending. So we've got Dia de los Muertos, Day of the Dead coloring book. This is heavy with the alcohol markers. All right, let's see here. Alcohol marker, water-based marker, and jelly roll. So pretty. I don't think, is there, oh, there is a little bit of shiny stuff. I'm not sure if it's jelly roll. Could be Arteza gel pens too on that one. But yeah, that was fun to do. I look forward to doing more in this book as well. And for me, Halloween goes like all year, so hopefully I'll come back to the scary stuff that I purchased a lot of Halloween stuff and then moved, so didn't really have time to do as much as I wanted. All right, up next, ooh, dark art. Yes. And yeah, this book is tiny in the US. It's very hard to like color in the little spaces. This is Dark Art Supernatural by Francois Gautier. And we've got a spider page. I'm not sure if I did anything shiny. Oh yeah, there's a little bit of shiny stuff on there, so I'll move that around so you can see the shiny goodness there. It is altered a little bit at the top, I think, just there. What did I use? Lots of water-based markers. The whole background is like water-based markers. I figured those are smaller and bleed less for the teeny tiny little spaces that are in this book. We've got Prismas. You'll hear that a lot. Started using the Prismas again. I think mostly in the spider and some of the mushrooms there. Acrylic paint markers. Some of my metallic watercolor, I'm assuming, is here on the spider's shiny bits there. Gel pens and alcohol markers, a little bit at the bottom. And gel pens, I think up here, because I drew the blood on as an afterthought. I felt we needed to balance the red, and I wanted, I mean, it seems gory already. Oh, and I wanted to, the spider didn't stand out very much, so I wanted to kind of take a tip from like the comic industry, and I outlined him in red just because I could, and I felt like I wanted to make that artistic decision, so I did. So I wanted to pull the red like all the way through the picture. So yeah, he was fun. Struggled a little bit there for a while, didn't know what to do to make the spider more visible, so that was my solution. Fun times. I look forward to working more in here, but the spaces are very small. So I wish they would make that book a little bit bigger. Then I'd buy them all. All right, up next is, Hannah Carlson, Space. Final Frontier. All right, yeah, I didn't even do space in this one. I did a flower, a space flower. Again, trying to use up some of that paint, remix it into a different color. So this is a lot of paint. I've mentioned it before on my channel. Painting is like my happy place. When I have a paintbrush in my hand and acrylic paint, I'm usually good to go. So most of this is acrylic paint, and actually all of it is acrylic paint. It's acrylic paint, apple barrel matte, and acrylic paint markers. I didn't specify on there. I'm guessing a lot of a hoo-hoo acrylic paint markers, maybe a Posca or something. So nothing shiny, just painting and mark making. You know, my favorite things to do. All right. And then we have, I kind of consider this one a fail, although there's a message for you. So here we go. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. When you fail, just turn it into a party. That's my theory. I just wanted to be done. When did I finish this? December 27th. I just wanted to be done with this. It wasn't going the way I wanted, so I'm like, we'll just add, funky lights at the top and call it done, so I can just move on with my life. But again, I was trying to use up some of that paint in the background, so I searched for things that I wanted to, maybe give a try. I kind of went awry at the beginning. On the background of all the trees, I used Arctic's acrylic markers. Those are not paint markers, they're ink markers. And then on top of things, I used Prismacolors, I used water-based markers, acrylic paint pens. Yeah, I just finished it quickly so I could call it done and move on from the disaster that was this one. It's okay. I mean, it's certainly not one of my favorites ever or of the year, but, I decided just to make it a Happy New Year party and call it done. So, there we go. A Million Little Monsters, Lulu Mayo. And my favorite things produced, and I'll show you some whips as well. Actually, I'll show you the whips before. We'll end on the super high note, because the ones in here I really, really like. I love this book. I'm going to be working in this a lot, I think, in the coming year. Occult and Folklore Coloring Book by Duchess of Lore. I have two whips that I have started here. All right. One is a wallpaper page, when you come in and you can't really think. I like to use the wallpaper page. So the background is Prisma thus far. That's all Prisma. And then the detail here is a jelly roll thus far. And I have a plan for the rest, just haven't got there yet. I think I started this one in December, so it's a whip from December. And I think this other one I started in late November. So it's still a whip. It's a play on Madonna and Child. A lot of these are, if you read, I usually don't read. I should probably read more in my coloring books, but if you look at what they're based off of, they're all kind of a joke based off of the occult and folklore, or even famous paintings. I think over here is based off The Kiss. I love The Kiss. I've got some other ones in other coloring books based off The Kiss as well. She's kissing her cat, because why not? This is Madonna and Cat, though, and I get excited because I love medieval art. So, yeah, so I've started that one. And this is just like flat coloring, block coloring, no shading, because I was not in a headspace when moving and house hunting and trying to close on houses that fell through, and I wasn't in a headspace I was just in a headspace to like pick up one thing and color with it. But love this book. There's a lot more I want to do in here. All right, so the finale, the grand finale, Tropical World. This was a book I bought here because most of my books are in storage, so I had very limited choices. And one day, in a fit of stress, I picked it up and I'm like, well, and I'll show you that's the last one. I started coloring the last one, but I'll show you the ones that come before that. So we've got, here's where I mixed the paint that I had to use for the last 2 months. Kind of use it up. We've got the flamingos. And I used acrylic paint in the back. Now, I did tediously paint. There were leaves here, and I tediously painted around all of those leaves. And then I finished painting, and I'm like, I don't like those. So then I went and painted those out, because I'm like, it'll look better if it's a little more minimalist with just the flamingos as the selling point. So I did that. I went and added back in these kind of silhouette leaves here. I think it needed something, and they had the black beak, so I felt it worked. Acrylic paint here, water-based markers, a lot of water-based markers. This is mostly based in water-based markers, and then there's just gel pens on top and Arctic's acrylic ink pens, and that's about it. I don't think I even used, oh, I did use an acrylic paint pen here for the leaves, and probably the beak as well. So yeah, so they're a bit shiny. I looked at flamingos and then did my own thing. So that is my version of flamingos. I like this book though. I knew right off the bat, and I'll show you with the last one. I think it's the best one. Might be the best one of the year, I don't know. And then I just finished, I feel like, ooh, I think last night. It always seems like I'm finishing one on New Year's Eve. So I finished the bat one. There's lots of shininess here too to look at. The bat's wings have shine on them. So this is, the background is Prismacolor, kind of in a mottled effect. The leaves are based in Inktense and then water-based markers on top of them. When I say water-based markers, I mean either Ohuhu water-based markers or Tombow water-based markers. Those are the two I have mostly. I think I have Crayons of the world, but I drag those out rarely, so. And then the bats are Prismacolor for their like heads and skin. And the bat wings are acrylic paint markers, Ohuhu, Jelly Roll, other acrylic paint markers. I think that's it. And so, yeah, I just finished that one last night. Glad to have it done. It seems like I can get a lot of coloring done between the end of Christmas and the beginning of New Year's. That's a good coloring time for me. I've noticed that through the years. Of course, when I was a teacher, that's when we had off. So, but again, at this job, we had that off too. And my favorite, best coloring of the 4-month period, I think, is this one. Love this one. Very proud. Lots of blingy stuff here. Mostly just the bugs. So I'll move that around. You can see the bling. This was one of those pages where I didn't know what was going to happen, but I liked the patterns on the leaves, and I'm just like, or the grass here, the blades of grass. I'm like, well, I'm just going to pick up one Prismacolor and color in the back because my brain's not working. There's too much transitions going on. Can't think. And once that was done, then I started looking at the blades, and I'm like, well, I'll treat each one like its own little mini mandala. And that's what I did. I mean, I threw the kitchen sink at this. There is everything from water-based markers, watercolor paint, Inktense. Some of those are based in Inktense. Lots of Prismacolors, but I used every pencil I have. Astra Pastelo, Brutfuner Squares. I don't think I used my Crayola colored pencils. And some of the places I blended the color pencils. You can see where I did that. And some places I just block colored. And I was really hating the ones that were not Prismacolor when I was block coloring. However, when I started to blend with them, they were much better. So I thought that was an interesting thing. There's all kinds of shiny stuff. Various different gel pens. What have I got? I've got Jelly Roll. I've got Pentel Dual Metallic. I still have Arteza, but I'm going to get rid of those things. I think here in the new year, their little glitter stuff tends to go everywhere. The other ones are less. And I also have Signo gel pens. I don't think I had those at the time. Also, there's metallic watercolor. There's like every metallic thing I could find in my arsenal. So there's metallic watercolor. I even mixed metallic watercolors, which somebody told me I couldn't do, and I believed them until I did this page, and then I mixed my own, and I'm like, oh, you could do that. Maybe they just didn't know what they were doing. So worked well for me. Yeah, super pleased with this page. All right, that is it for my 4 months of coloring during the transition time of my life, hopefully into a much better life now. I thank you for joining me. I appreciate your time. I hope you have a most fabulous 2024. I'll see you next time. Live long and prosper. Bye-bye.